Hello everyone and welcome to Backseat Sports. I'm Caleb, that's Josh, and today we're going to be talking week 5 of Husker football and the recap of last week's game versus Rutgers. We won 27-17. We're going to have a look inside the lines of that.
It was really a therapeutic win for the Huskers, coming off of a nasty Northern Illinois loss. We needed a win like this to get us back on track. Obviously now we have Illinois coming up, but we need to talk about this Rutgers game and what went on. Obviously, we were missing Stanley Morgan, Josh Kalu, Trey Bryant, Marcus Newby, and then Aaron Williams got kicked out after the first drive for that targeting call. Kind of a little bit of a BS there. Didn't necessarily think that was deserving, but, you know, it is what it is nonetheless.
Rutgers, the whole first half, had us really on the ropes. They came out, they got that pick six for the start of the second half. We were down, and then we kind of turned back into Nebraska football, more the football we had seen like in the UCLA game. The bowl game where we're pounding the ball, we're rushing it. We finally see Devine Ozigbo take some significant amount of snaps. At the beginning of the season, we talked about how it was going to be a revolving glass door of running backs, and then we really didn't see Ozigbo after Trey Bryant went down, or even in the fact it was just Mikhail Wilbon, and then we even saw Jalen Bradley before we went to Devine Ozigbo, who had won us some games. Pretty interesting that we didn't see him until this point. And boy, was he a big turnaround for us. He was patient in hitting the right holes. Really a big needed boost. And I think the reason that we beat Rutgers this week.
Yeah, his physicality was really needed back there in Nebraska. Interestingly enough, he actually averaged 4.2 yards per carry. But Mikhail Wilbon was actually a little bit more efficient, averaging 5.6 yards a carry. That was with the Zigbo actually having a longest run. So it's interesting that Wilbon actually was still more efficient. Even though during the game it really did feel like Ozigbo was running better, and it looked like Ozigbo had more control of what he wanted to do during the game. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, especially when Trey Bryant returns, and we'll see what happens with the Nebraska running back situation.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the thing about it was Ozigbo was getting, he had drives where he was getting 5-6 straight carries in a row, and was really the battering ram for Nebraska. And after Tanner Lee's confidence had been shaken so much, Ozigbo gave some stability to the team. Another positive in the offense was J.D. Spielman, who's been just a great asset for us this whole year.
Yeah.
He seems to be the speediest guy on the team, even faster than Patterson, and just great in space. He can catch. He's a really good route runner. He can catch a lot of balls, and he's just super fast. That touchdown was super needed. It was a great heads-up play by him. He initially broke the route and was totally wide open. Tanner Lee didn't see him. He must have been the cold route or something like that. And then he comes back around, comes vertical back to the ball, and ends up catching it. Even though it was kind of a risky play by Tanner Lee, he made a great play.
It seems like J.D. Spielman has Tanner Lee's trust, and that, that's really important for a quarterback in a new system like that. It's interesting to see how that'll develop. And then, the next thing, obviously, everyone noticed was Patterson. Man, he is elite. He's still very versatile. He hasn't lost a step from that injury, and it's going to be extremely exciting to see what else he can do in special teams. And we need to figure out how to get him the ball more offensively. We've been struggling to get the ball in his hands on the perimeter, and I think both of us would love to see the ball in DeMornay's hands a little bit more often. So one of the hottest topics that probably, every Husker fan has an opinion on is Tanner Lee in the quarterback situation. And what's going on with that? Is Mike Riley making the right decision with having Tanner Lee back there still commanding the offense? We've seen that he's had 9 picks in 3 games, and multiple pick sixes, which has been, the joke when it comes to Tanner Lee. I think we need to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here. And let's go over these pick sixes. Pick sixes that he had against Northern Illinois weren't his fault. The first one was a blown assignment by Stanley Morgan to get a pick on the cornerback, and the corner picks off the screen pass. Not Tanner Lee's fault. The next one was when he was hit while he threw, and obviously he should have better pocket awareness and have the the quickness of the mind to know not to throw that ball. But nonetheless, he decided to try to make that throw, but he was hit while throwing and got picked off, returned for a touchdown. Not completely his fault there either. A lot of unluckiness involved there. But then in the Rutgers game, his first pick, not the pick six, but the first interception was inexcusable. He threw it off his back foot, threw it into double coverage downfield, and I think all Husker fans were kind of questioning that one. And then he follows that up, later in the game with a pick six. Again, completely loses sight of that free safety, tries to sling it in there and picked off as he stared him down. That was a big mistake. He should have better awareness than that. He made a great throw at the beginning of the game. We see two sides of Tanner Lee. We see the great side of Tanner Lee and the really bad side of Tanner Lee. I think Tanner Lee has the ability to be a great quarterback. He has the arm talent and the accuracy and ability to make those throws, but he really can struggle when it comes to decision making and pocket awareness. And I mean, those are two important things for a quarterback, and that's what Husker Nation has to work through and understand. If he really keeps on struggling in these games, maybe it is time to see Patrick O'Brien. But right now, we need to give Tanner Lee another chance, especially after a win.
The coaching staff maybe should have sat Tanner Lee at least for a drive. His mindset is when we're down, he really needs to force it and press it to get us the win. He feels that there's a lot of pressure on him. And I thought that run game where we were feeding the ball to Ozigbo really helped his confidence. He's been forcing a lot of things. I feel like he thinks the whole world is on his shoulders with all the draft hype and everything like that. Yes, we should stick with him as our starting quarterback, but I think he needs to cool his jets a little bit, calm down, and settle in, which he just really hasn't done. He is the reason the team has been put in bad spots, is because of his poor decision making. Our defense has only given up 14 points on drives in the past 2 games. We've only actually given up 2 touchdowns, but the field position that we've been given because of Tanner Lee's pick sixes are a reason that Nebraska is not doing good.
I love Tanner Lee's composure, though. After he threw the pick 6 against Rutgers, he came back and completed 6 of his next 8 passes in a 97-yard drive to lead us for a touchdown there. And I mean, that's really what changed the momentum of the game a lot of the ways. And it was a big part of the game, and he really composed himself after the pick 6 and made some great plays. So you got to give him that at least. Like I said, I think we need to give him another chance after we win a game like that. Let him play against Illinois on the road, see how he plays, and then evaluate from there.
So let's jump right into Illinois and talk about what we got going there.
So obviously, as you guys know, we're playing against Illinois Friday night. It's going to be an interesting game with Nebraska there. Tickets are really cheap, by the way, so if you guys want to go, you should. But nonetheless, Nebraska's favored by 7 points, actually. 2 years ago, we actually lost to them in Illinois, 14-13. That was a pretty crappy game. And then last year, we beat them 31-16 at home in Lincoln. Illinois has actually lost 3 of their last 6 home games, interestingly enough. So far this year, they're 2-1 with 2 wins against Ball State and Western Kentucky, and then a loss against USF, actually. They lost by 24 points to USF. So far, Illinois hasn't been that impressive. They've had close wins against Ball State and Western Kentucky. Nebraska definitely should be favored in this game, as the line says. We're favored, like I said, we're favored by 7. Currently, so far, Nebraska is ranked 72nd in FBS passing offense, 79th in rushing offense, 65th in scoring offense in total, and then 88th in scoring defense. So we're kind of middle of the pack at best. Not what we want to see as, the University of Nebraska. But the thing is, Illinois is actually worse in all those categories. They're in the hundreds in all offensive categories. But then they're 65th in scoring defense. A little bit better, but they have played some pretty inferior opponents.
So we're in Champaign again. It's not like it's a very ruckus atmosphere. Nebraska fans will probably outnumber, or it'll be close to the Illinois game. If we do what we did in the last quarter of the Rutgers game, and we just say we're Nebraska, we can outpower you because we have more players and we're bigger and we're meaner, then we're going to win the game, and we're going to win the game pretty handily. When we played and we lost 14-13 in Champaign, it was a super windy day, and the coaching staff, we threw the ball like 45 times that game. So many deep balls, and their answer at the end of the press conference was it was open, it was there, we just barely didn't make the throws. If we do something similar like that, which what we've seen with Tanner Lee, where he's been making a lot of ill-advised throws, it's going to be a close game and we could end up losing. If we go to more of a smash mouth football complemented by Tanner Lee's good arm in certain situations, we should win this game handily.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we said is that we need to make Tanner Lee comfortable, get the running game going. If we can get Mikel Wubon and Ozigbo, and we'll see if Trey Bryant plays, then we'll be in good shape, and that's what Tanner Lee needs to get into rhythm. I think our defense is finally finding its groove. Diaco's figuring out how his personnel works. We worked in a little bit more of a multiple defense package. Last game against Rutgers, actually, we ran a little bit of some 4-3 in there. So we'll see what we do against Illinois. I think our defense will play well, and I definitely think Nebraska's going to come out on top. I think it's going to be 28-17. Nebraska comes out on top out there in Champaign, so it's going to be a good game, but Nebraska gets it done.
Yeah, I would say the same. I think it's going to be 21-10. It's going to be a lot lower scoring. I think we're going to just wear them out, and our defense is going to play well again, and I'd love to see us only have 1 turnover this game. The over-under is 46, and if I was a gambling man, I would say it'd be the under. I think it's going to be a slower-paced game. Our team has been consistently inconsistent on what we've been doing this season. So every game is a new excitement. And if we walk in Wisconsin coming to us 3-2, I feel a lot better about our spot going forward through 5 games for sure.
So let us know down below what you guys think about, the Husker football and what the score is going to be for this Illinois game, and what were your guys' takeaways from this Rutgers game. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. We love seeing your comments down below, and it means a lot to us. But I'm Josh, this is Caleb, this has been Backseat Sports, and we'll see you next video.
Pretty clear. Now we're going to have to take a serious, hard look at Mike Riley and what he's brought to the table over the last 2.25 years thus far. So his win percentage right now at Nebraska is